What's up? It's Hallie. Welcome back to Club Meetings Season 3. Hold on, I'm adjusting the position of the window ever so slightly. Okay, well, let's go. When we last left off, well, we were answering some emails, I guess. Goodness. Oh yeah, and then Natsuki was like,
"You have to commit to the bit, Monica." "I thought you said it was a one-time thing." "Commit to the bit." "You teach me so much every day, Natsuki."
Okay. I again got another question for you all. What would you all say are your two favorite CGs? They can be from the original game or from Plus, but with one rule. It has to be one CG that includes yourself, and one that doesn't. Obviously, Miss Ida can't adhere to this rule, and MC doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. They can just pick any two they want. But for the others, I'm curious to know your favorites with these conditions. P.S. Love you, Yuri. You're my favorite. Psycheed. I guess MC actually wouldn't have too many options, but, like, he does appear technically in some of them. Like, you can see his hand whenever he's, wiping off Yuri's face, and obviously when he's hugging Sayori at that one. Oop, controller, work!
I guess you and I should go first, since we're a little unusual this way.
Makes sense to me. My favorite CG is the one of Sayori using the apple juice to keep her swelling down. I think of that a lot. I have the cutest girlfriend ever, you know? My second favorite one is the one where I'm fixing her tie. Which is something that maybe has had the romance taken out of it by now, though, or through sheer repetition. But I'll never forget how I felt doing it that time. Other than those, which sort of have me in them, my favorite is the one from Plus where Monica understands Sayori and accepts her. It was really nice to have that happen, and for Sayori to have someone who gets her to lean on, you know? What about you, Miss Ida?
Mine are both also from the DLC. My favorite is the one you just mentioned, with Sayori and Monica. My second favorite is the one with Monica and Natsuki in the music room, two very different young women growing by learning about their differences. That's the kind of thing that school is really about. My favorite one with me in it is the one from Plus, where I'm helping Yuri feel okay about taking friendship slowly. But my favorite is the one with Natsuki and Yuri sitting with each other on a vending machine by the stairs. That one is very cute. It may sound strange, but even with all the wholesome things that happen in Plus, my favorite CG with myself is still the space room. It feels like home somehow. My favorite one without me in it might be considered a little prosaic, but I really like the one from Plus of Sayori and Natsuki talking in the hall out there. It's just so expressive of their characters. What about you, Natsuki?
Well, I guess I'd have to say my favorite one with me is the one where I have frosting on my finger. I know it really sounds weird, but I don't know, it weirdly feels kind of wholesome. People don't usually share my interests or want to bake with me. And MC being really nice to me and baking with me felt, I felt really accepted in that whole timeline. My favorite one without me in it is probably the one where Sayori is hugging MC. I know it's not exactly the happiest CG, but I just really feel that one. It's got a lot of energy to it. Feels energy. You know?
Indeed, the context of it makes it very impactful. As for me, my favorite CG with me in it is also the one of me and Natsuki. It's very peaceful, after so much chaos between us. That feels very nice. To have moments of solitude with another person, if that is sensible. Especially a person with whom you started out feeling very alien. As for which one I liked best without me in it, I am also going to go with Monica's Act 3 Space Room CG. It has some terrible connotations, of course, but there is something hauntingly compelling and beautiful about that whole situation. Everything she worked for and gave up for the sake of it, you know? It was a tragic mistake, but a lovely one.
If you say so.
These days I find it hard to see anything remotely positive about that time. Or even to remember why I thought any of that was a good idea. But I guess that's probably a good thing. Shall we move on to the next one? Before we do, I will say thank you to Saeed. I'm grateful to be your favorite. On to the next one.
How do you know about that? You are in a simulator, and can you can you copy and paste stuff, Monica? Not statement, not question. And between you are the best girl from Lucas. Okay, simulator, not ter.
I think the first question is asking me how I knew I was in a simulation. It was sort of a creeping awareness. It started as an unsettling feeling that something wasn't right about the world. I couldn't quite pin down what it was or what it meant. But then I started started to realize somehow that objects around me, rooms and such, weren't real. I didn't understand at first how, but then I started realizing that others weren't real. And that even I wasn't real. Around about the code, or when the game started, that's when I realized there was code. Although I didn't understand yet what the game was. The one thing I knew for sure is that the world of the player, although I didn't understand that's what they were at the first, was real. Super, really real. And our world wasn't. Pretty early on into the base game, I had realized that it was a game, and what kind of game it was, like, very quickly after MC joined the club. So many scripted things were happening that directly affected reality that it would have been impossible not to figure it out. So, yes, that's how I became aware of it. I can copy and paste code, if that's what you mean. Copy and pasting physical objects is more difficult. Unfortunately, things like desks and chairs, for instance, are not as simple as just some 3D modeled object that I can replicate. Due to being part of a sophisticated simulation, a single physical object has dependencies on 1,000 other things. Otherwise, it would have been a lot simpler than it was to help Miyuki. But since it's more complicated than that, I probably could copy and paste a physical object if I really wanted to. It would just be a lot of work. And it would take me a ton of time to figure out how to do for any one single object. Plus, each individual object, like each different desk in this classroom, would have its own different properties and dependencies. Although once I knew how to do one, it'd probably be a lot, or at least a little easier to do another. And that's why I was able to help Miyuki when Miss Ida disappeared. I gained a clear picture of how the game represented certain things relating to people without care files. And what code in our simulation process mattered to what specific things about that person. So I guess to answer your question, yes, I can copy-paste, but it's really hard. Thanks for the question.
No, my Miyuki... I don't think my Miyuki worked there to stop my coughing, and I'm sorry. I am Goose. I have many questions. Some may be a bit too meta, though. Alright, first question. When is Season 3 of Club Meetings? Second question. Monica, you ever just chill with yourself and Maz? Third question. Will we be seeing more of Natsuki's sis? Fourth. So is Miss Ida just part of the Literature Club now? And how did she even get to the party in the S2 recap? Fifth. If you girls ever do code in college or something like that, do you know what courses you're gonna take? Or jobs, and etc.? Sixth. Natsuri confirmed. Puts on tinfoil hat. Seventh. Christmas special. Eighth. You guys watch the Dream SMP? What? I don't even know what that is. Alright, that's pretty much it from what I can come up with. Cheers! A sad goose. Yeah, my controller is straight up dead. Not good. My mouse isn't working either. What is happening? Hello? Okay, so the mouse I might be able to excuse, because the mouse seems to be low battery these days. But, yeah, no, nothing is working. Nothing is working. Well, crap, I guess I'm using the keyboard for this recording session. Also, I wanted to say, Natsuri confirmed? Yeah, as of, like, this episode, or maybe the previous one, it sure seems like it, huh?
Well, the first question's answer is right now, of course, but you wrote this before it started. I hope we didn't make you wait too long. I don't really play Maz. I think I've said before that's really impressive, but it gives me the creeps to play it. I feel really sorry for Maz, Monica. Don't get me wrong, she seems very happy, but I don't know. It seems hollow somehow. So nothing against you if you play it. We've just become two very different Monicas. And I'm glad to be me. And I prefer not to be reminded of when I was less me, I guess. Let's see, what's next? Yeah, Masina is definitely one of us now. She's an important part of this whole operation. I'm not sure how she got to Fuyuki's party, though. Speaking of Fuyuki, I have no idea if you'll see her more often. That's not really up to us. But getting back to Masina and how she got to the party, I assume she drove. I actually took public transportation. I walked to a bus station, bus to the train, then another bus, and I walked the rest of the way. I probably could have driven, but it didn't seem worth it to have saved 20 minutes. Masina is very conscientious about taking public transportation. I am. It's an important way we can help fight climate change. Plus, it's really very cheap. Or at least it is around here. Doesn't the school give you a bus pass for this area, too? Yes, but we're only supposed to use it to go to and from school or for emergencies. I have my own separate bus card that I use for personal stuff.
Very conscientious. The next part wants to know what courses or jobs we're aiming for if we go to college. We kind of already answered the jobs part a while ago, but let's revisit it. It's especially relevant since we might actually finally go to college. As for me, I'm not really sure. I think the last time I expressed a passing interest in law, but I'm really not sure. I think I'll just let school come to me and see what I'm interested in.
I have absolutely no idea what I want to do. I'm kind of scared about it, actually. It's getting really late for me to have zero idea of what I want to be when I'm grown up, it feels like.
That's not late. College is there to help you decide. You get to look into a bunch of things and see what interests you. You don't have to have your mind made up at all yet. Besides, I don't have an idea what I want to do yet either. So I'm just going to make it up as I go along, too. To be honest, I wasn't even sure I wanted to go to college. I'm not sure I'd be a good fit. Like, I really do love baking and I'd love to do that as a career. But that doesn't exactly need a college degree. But apparently, according to some of these nerds, I'm too smart and should try some other things out just in case. So we'll see how it goes.
I am looking forward to you loving some classes and absolutely detesting others, Natsuki. As for me, I also have not really decided on particular classes or fields yet. Marine biology is of great interest to me, as I have said many times before, but so are many other subjects. So, as with the others, we shall see.
Yeah, there you have it. None of us have any idea what we want to do at all.
That's very normal, and you shouldn't feel bad about it at all.
Thanks, Miss Nina. Well, looks like the next question is for Natsuki and Yuri, I would say. Next! But... Next! Well, I was only going to say there are still more questions in this one, so I'm getting to those. No Christmas special, sorry. Christmas is probably not as much of a big deal to us as it is to anyone reading this. But we still get together and have fun. Just not enough to necessarily do a whole special about it. Lastly, Goose wanted to know if we watched the Dream SMP. Does anyone get this? I don't. Stand aside, I've got this. MC, do you know about Dream SMP?
Nah, sorry.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, emailer, I have never really watched any of it. But I do know what it is. It's basically a Minecraft server with a bunch of YouTubers on it. And they do bits and tell weird, funny, long-term stories on it. It's pretty cute sounding. But yeah, sorry, never really watched it. If I have time to watch Minecraft, I have time to play Minecraft, you know. But thanks for asking. Yeah, that's all of that one. Good questions, Goose, thank you.
I lied, just one question. Monica, if the player turned out to be asexual and aromantic, would you be okay? Cheers.
Well, I'd understand, I guess. After all, I'd really want you to be happy. And at this point, I definitely care about that more than about whether I get to be with you. I mean, obviously I'd rather be with you than not. But if it would make you happiest not to be with me, I would prefer that. And a lot of you might jump in and say I need to value my own happiness, and that's true. But I think maybe I've gotten to a place where, if I had to, I could be happy without you. I'd still struggle a lot with it and freak out sometimes. But I think in the end I'd be okay. Don't get me wrong, though. I still love you, and I'd drop everything to be with you if I could. It's just that, if for whatever reason you didn't want to be with me, I'd understand and be okay. Especially if it were something so important as being Ace or Arrow. Then I would definitely tell you to look after yourself. Alright, next question.
Hi there, longtime fan of you guys. I'm eager to see where things go for you girls and hope that everything is well. I was wondering what you all do when it comes to writer's block. I'm a musician and am working hard on an EP with my band, and I tend to be the one writing with lyrics for us, as I know that lyric writing and poetry come hand in hand. But I've been stuck for what seems like forever. Any advice on how to resolve this?
This is kind of a long one I saved for last. So, writer's block, what do we all do? For me, I just start writing whatever. It might be scribbles, it might be a sequence of nonsense words, it might be whatever. If I can, I take a break from what I'm writing first.
Whoop! I drifted off screen slightly and could not click.
And then if I do, and come back, I still have writer's block. I do the writing random nonsense thing. Sometimes I do that for a while. But usually I think of something I'd rather write pretty quickly.
What is happening? It feels like the cursor's drifting sometimes. I'm gonna put it like right in the middle of the screen and we'll see if it goes anywhere, I guess.
How about you guys?
And also, I'm pretty sure Monica addressed this topic in Act 3 at some point, so I'm pretty sure that's consistent with what she said there. I definitely take a break and go do something else. And I don't come back to it until a day has passed if I can. If I don't have time to do that, I just write something rushed and forced and bare minimum quality. And I tell myself that's the best I could do under the circumstances.
I've never had writer's block.
Never.
Never! Like, not even once? I mean, it feels like everyone gets writer's block sometimes. Well, not me yet. Anytime I sit down to write something, whoosh, I write it really fast. And I'm done. The hard part is sitting down to write the thing in the first place. I think I just have way too many ideas or things to write about compared to the small amount of time I feel like writing. Sometimes I do feel like writing, all the ideas and thoughts and words are backed up and they'll come rushing out. So yeah, no writer's block for me. Guess that makes sense. Writer's block is really frustrating for me. Honestly, I kinda just sit there and seethe.
This surprises no one.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't have any great ideas for getting over it. I just sit there until I think of something or get too frustrated and just give up for a while. So I guess I'd say I like to step back and do other stuff, which is a solution other people have suggested. What do you do, Yuri? Since apparently you must have several great ideas.
When I am stuck, I try to change the mood.
The mood?
Yes, if the blinds are closed, I might open them or vice versa. Or perhaps I'll play or stop playing some music. Or burn some incense or otherwise change the air. Usually I find that that is sufficient to give me a new direction.
Good answers, everyone. Let's see what's next.
Alright, so it looks like the mouse is just drifting from my natural clicking of the touchpad, which is another reason I hate touchpads and never use them. But oh well, I guess I'll try the spacebar instead.